How you think, how you act, and how you feel is called what? And your personality creates what? All right, so let's make it simple. You want wealth. You want $10 million in your bank account by the time you're 35. I don't know, I'm making stuff up. Would you agree with me that in order for you to arrive at that goal, you couldn't be the same person you are making that decision, yes? You'd have to think differently. You'd have to make a lot of different choices. You got to do a lot of different things. You got to get really good. You got to start creating experiences that are your goals, your short-term goals, and every one of those makes you feel like you're getting closer. Come on, you with me still? So you can't change until you change in order to get there. You would tell your kids this, wouldn't you? Yeah. And you've already done this. Are you kidding me? You already know how to do this. Everybody in this room at least once did something pretty cool, no? And what did you do? You got some wild idea. You thought, what would it be like to be happy? What would it be like to be in love? What would it be like to be in shape? What would it be like to be retired and early in my life? And you, without using your cell phone, you thought for yourself. And the moment you ask that question, the moment you ask that frontal lobe question, the forebrain, the creative center of your brain, the moment you said, what would it be like to? You're basically looking for a new experience in your life, yes or no? And that creative center is the dreamer. And it only has its resources and the rest of the brain, and it has connections to all other parts of the brain. And when you say, what would it be like to be healthy or be in shape or whatever it is, or abundant, your brain looks out over the landscape of all of its circuitry. And it's looking for networks in the brain that are associated with that idea. And it begins to call them up. And then when they get enough networks called up on things you've learned and books you've read or experiences that you've had or what you've seen or whatever, when the brain can stay with it long enough and call up all those different circuits, there comes a moment where they all fire in tandem. And the moment they fire in tandem, you get a picture in your mind. You get a vision of the future. That's called clear intention. The thought that you're thinking in your mind, that vision that your brain is freezing of you in that future, all of a sudden you start feeling the emotion of that event before it occurs, and your heart opens and you fall in love with that vision and you feel it. And the moment you felt it, no person, no circumstance, no condition, no feeling, no laziness, no time would talk you out of that vision. You felt it. Come on, are you with me? And people said, are you crazy? But you would have to agree with me then. You'd have to start thinking about how you're going to want to think every day. You would have to start writing down the choices you would need to make, the things that you were going to do, the experiences, your short-term goals that you wanted to arrive at, so you know you're getting closer. And every time you did, you got closer to the feeling of it actually happening. And you kept reminding yourself of that future. You kept it alive in your mind, and you kept staying excited about it, and you made time for it, and you kept that vision alive, because it's so much easier to forget that vision than to remember it. Come on, are you with me still? And then you did something really honest with yourself. Because you had to say then, how am I not going to think? Let me get really clear. Like, I can't, I'm too tired, I don't want to. That's not going to enter my mind, and I'm not going to accept, believe, and surrender to that thought as if it's the truth without analyzing it. Game on now. What choices am I going to stop making? What behaviors or habits am I going to want to change about myself? I can't behave this way. I can't do these things anymore. What experiences in my life that I'm just going to have to stay away from for a period of time with certain people and certain. I don't want to rally back to the old self. They'll talk me out of my vision. What emotions will bring me to a lower level that will no longer cause me to believe in my future and start believing in my past? Let me name them. And my job then is to stay in that excitement and that inspiration. And every day you reminded yourself of who you did want to be, and you reminded yourself of who you no longer wanted to be. Sooner or later, things in your life magically started to turn around after you faced all that adversity. And no one changes unless they're challenged, and we need the challenge to arrive on the other side. Can't tell you how many people said to me backstage, my disease was my greatest teacher. I would have never changed unless I was never been serious unless I got that disease. I blessed that thing. It got me to who I am today. Are you with me still? And every day when you reminded yourself of who you no longer wanted to be and you reminded yourself of who you did want to be, things in your life started to shape and organize and start to come to you. And you started to get closer to the state of knowing that it was going to happen. And when you reached that moment where you knew it was going to happen, you took your foot off the gas. And you enjoyed the experience, and it brought you to more humility, more wholeness, more self-love, more freedom. You were complete from the experience.